That's another thing hair is good for. Sweat. Do you know you could make a barometer with a thing of hair? Long strand of hair, you put a toothpick on it. If it's a humid day, it'll go up. And if it's a dry day, it goes down.
What if it's a dry conversation?
Hello!
Welcome back to
What's Safeword?
I'm Am.
I'm Mr. Christopher.
And this week we're going to talk about
Hair and hair removal. And the power of hair.
And the musical.
And the sexiness. No, not the musical.
Oh.
Anyway.
Bark, bark, bark.
Hair has
Bark,
a lot
bark,
of
bark,
power
bark, bark, bark,
and
bark.
eroticism. And eroticism for lots and lots of people.
So hair is a way for people to express themselves, and throughout history you kind of see different hairstyles that represent different parts of a culture, whether it be through their gender roles in certain hairstyles, or possibly even the length and cleanliness of the hair.
Sure, like the fairy tales of Rapunzel and Samson and Delilah.
Shaving, or the removal of pubic hair, was done in Rome, the Middle East, Japan, China, India, and North Africa at young ages. The male and female parties both became conditioned to seeing bald pubic areas. Some later in life had a hard time becoming aroused or staying aroused whenever they saw pubic bushes.
Interesting. Dr. Brenda... It is. Dr. Love, in her Encyclopedia of Unusual Sex Practices, even referred to the pulling out of clusters of hair or pubic hair in a way to make men aroused or even ejaculate.
So then, with the history and some practices and studies being done on this, I will say that this was a harder topic to cover just because there's not a lot of written evidence out there for hair fetishes. But what do you think about hair is almost erotic to us?
I think especially in male culture, gay male culture, men like that hyper-masculinity. There is something really masculine about men's chest hair, armpit hair, crotch hair that turn people on.
So in researching this, there are two different types of hair fetishes that I was able to find. One was just the obsession with hair itself, known as trichophilia. And trichophilia comes from the Greek word tricha, meaning hair, and philia, meaning to be aroused or enjoy. So trichophilia is someone who enjoys and just really, really likes hair.
And lots of people like the way hair either smells, feels, looks. There's something about rubbing your hands through chest hair or pubic hair, or don't touch my hair. Hard gelled hair, although that's not very erotic.
Hey.
Puppy hair. Puppy hair's the best.
And there's even some people that go so far as to enjoy eating hair, which, hairball. Meow.
So then, of course, with the eroticism of hair, there's also the eroticism of taking it away, or depilation. That can be either shaving, yeah, that's it. Either seeing a smooth body or lack of hair, or causing that to happen on someone you're playing with.
And so underneath that overarching umbrella that is depilation, there's a lot of different factors that bring people to that fetish itself. The first of which?
Aesthetics. Some people just like or prefer a smooth body. You've heard of manscaping. And some people just like the emasculation of it. Taking away the hair kind of takes away their masculine power, so they become very sub-like.
The next aspect being relaxation. Some people really enjoy getting their hair cut. They like that endorphin flow that they get when their hair's caressed or cut or just shaved down because it's relaxing.
You relax.
Kind of. When we talk about removing hair, there's a bunch of different ways in which you can do that. And underneath that is the different sensory and the different sensations that you can give someone during that play. Whether it's hot wax or scraping, a hot razor, or you're pulling or plucking, all those different sensory plays kind of bring a different number of people to this fetish.
Actually, I was in a shaving scene 2 weeks ago where I was being shaved down, and the difference of hot water being used to shave, followed by cold water, made me shiver afterwards. Your skin is very attuned to everything around it. Rubbing alcohol after a shave to cause a burning sensation if you're doing an S&M scenario. All those tactical things evoke big reactions and can be part of a shaving scene.
Some might call it hair raising.
It can get a little hairy, yeah. See what I did there?
I did. Finally, with that BDSM aspect that comes along with removing hair is that long-term reminder of when you cut hair, it's going to grow back eventually.
But it reminds you every day. I'm a pretty hairy guy. I had a shaving scene just 2 weeks ago. I had my armpit shaved, my chest was shaved, my crotch was shaved, and the first 3 days was pretty prickly, and it kept reminding me of the amazing scene I had 3 days prior.
All those aspects that bring someone to a scene, I'll explain. What are the different ways that you can actually remove hair, and what are the best ways to kind of practice hair removal?
So the first way would be shaving.
Secondly, after that, might be plucking if you're going for a real sharp sort of hair removal.
Sounds like it would take a long time, depending on how much you're
Depending
doing.
on how hairy you are.
You, it wouldn't take very long, actually. Let's pluck you.
No, I'm not a chicken. After that is...
Chicken. Chicken. So the second way would be depilatory creams, like Nair or something that you would apply on to the area that you're going to remove and wipe off, and all the hair would come off with it. It's relatively inexpensive, but lots of them have odors associated with them that aren't very sexy, and it can cause irritation and rash.
If you're going for a more sensation play sort of hair removal, waxing is always an option, and that can be done with very warm wax. And that's one of the more painful options, but also the hair's not going to grow back for a few weeks.
I highly recommend
No.
strapping the subject down tightly if you're going to do that, and then ripping it off.
Oh, the cost is somewhat medium though, so you know that might be a little too expensive
You're worth
for
it,
us.
puppy.
Anyway,
Chicken. I don't know what the fuck sugaring is. So apparently there's another way called sugaring, which I've never heard of, which is like a sugaring paste, which is similar to waxing, relatively low cost.
still very painful, and the hair grows back in about 3 to 6 weeks.
So I actually might like it. Let's experiment.
Anyway, sugaring, bad idea. Don't do it. Finally, the most permanent forms of hair removal are laser hair removal or electrolysis.
It's an option if you wanted to be like a permanent slave and never have your crotch hair grow back because you wanted a tattoo slave across of it.
It's very specific. Regardless of what form of hair removal you choose to practice, always be safe, always be very wary of what you're doing around the very delicate areas that you have hair on, and that includes being conscious of your razors, your creams, your gels, making sure that you are safe and sane and consensual about everything you're doing.
Yeah, don't ever cut anyone's hair without asking them first. That's going to end badly for you. Trust me.
Another very common problem is ingrown hairs. Make sure that you're exfoliating, you're soothing with nice warm waters, and don't try to remove those ingrown hairs aggressively because you will cause scars on your body.
And lastly, if you are using wax, make sure it's not too hot. You don't want to burn someone unintentionally.
So in closing, depilatory, this fetish, this hair-raising topic we've decided to talk about today, it's just another form of self-expression that can also be very, very intimate.
It's very intimate, trust, that power dynamic, and then also the reminder afterwards.
So before I get waxed against my own will, whether you're hairy as fuck or hairless, always have a safe word. And today's safe word is...
Sweeney Todd.
Because he wasn't very consensual in his hair removal process. And I bet he got a boner from it. He probably got a boner from it.
I'm sure he was very aroused, yes. But he never listened to safe words. Ever.
I could go for a meat pie, though. So don't forget to leave a like below if you enjoyed this topic and having Mr. Christopher back on.
Or leave a comment. They love to answer comments and hear from you.
And we'll see you guys next time on What's a Safe Word.
Bye!
That's better.
That's way better. You took all my lines. Off that.